Oh yeah, we're good now.
All right, cut. But yeah, since you read that again, and then we're gonna go to that and Joe real quick, build off of that.
All right. So, see what these guys up to, man.
Yeah, Esau, man.
Hey, the devil is out.
He's roaming, going to and fro throughout the earth.
Yeah.
He was two and he came back.
Bro, yeah.
Bro,
To and fro.
Fucking a walk spell that he's
Yeah.
supposed. Hey, no enchantments against
Don't
Jacob.
ever get Jacob, man.
probably quote some damn satanic
Latin
Curse.
curse.
Sounds right the fuck off.
Some the curse of the
probably know some druid language.
the language of the
Some
demons.
dead language.
The dead language. This
said
is
no,
ancient
some bad.
Atlantean.
Some fucking language that nobody knows.
But everybody looks at us. But everybody looks at us like we the freaks, cause this is what we wear.
Right.
Ain't nobody saying shit about
About
that.
that shit.
This nigga look.
That's cool.
It looks like an everyday thing for you.
Wizard of Oz, man.
All right. The fool has said in his heart, there is no power. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works.
Yep.
Yeah. Of course you wouldn't believe in God, man.
Cause you done abominable.
Because if you say that, then God has to kick your ass for all the wickedness you've done.
Mm-hmm.
That's the truth. That's why you say there is no God, and you go out of your way to prove the fact, or try to prove, but you fail miserably that there is no power. But there is.
Yep. Well, the atheist, man, the Heavenly Father. Hey, how about you? I'm going to show him specifically that he exists.
Yeah.
Watch.
Well, if you don't
It's
believe in
coming.
God, why are you worried about the Lord kicking your ass for what your forefathers did?
Right.
You shouldn't have nothing to worry
about
about.
it.
Just live your white life and die,
Which
and
one's-
it just deal with that. Plant yourself, do
that's
the
fine.
Edomite thing.
45.
Put yourself in a fucking
Yeah, come on, good.
plant
Good.
bowl and become a tree in somewhere in the middle of the woods or something. You know, that's what these Edomites do. They put their dead bodies in a weird orifice. And then next thing you know, here it is. You think that's a fruit tree? That's a nigga tree, man. That's Karen's tree.
Right.
She turned into a fucking tree.
Right. Use
Because
it for fertilizer a tree. Well, that's what was that in Mississippi?
the fruit bowl.
Devil's Punch Bowl.
Punch bowl.
See,
You know, those are nigga trees.
see. So we don't care what you
Strange
believe. You Edomites see the devil. You're the children of fools. Now get that in Psalms. Not Psalms. Job 30.
This is Job chapter 30, verse 1. It says, but now they that are younger than I,
Yeah, younger, insignificant,
Yep.
beneath us. That's why the brother said earlier, we dominate everything. Anybody that says anything different is a goddamn liar.
Facts.
He's a goddamn liar.
He's a goddamn liar.
All right?
You're
Okay,
a
this is the
devil.
truth. And you're the devil and you're a loser. Right? If you can't acknowledge the fact that the Negro,
Loser.
Latino, and Native American man and the confusion of faces. Man, I picked up this as I've been in Duluth area, or about satellite. You know, it's a lot of Moab up there, right? Man, I picked up this Moabite. It looked like a Moabite, right? I'm like, man, these fucking gooks. You know, I'm in that car. I'll be in Cardinals hell for the beginning, right? Goddamn gooks. Yeah, man. But then I was stereotyping. But then when I pulled up on them, and I was like, I looking kind of niggerish right now. Man had a cigarette, put it out. This is how you know when you meeting an Israelite, okay? We greet each other in a certain fashion
Hell yeah.
that is universal.
Yep.
All right? And so he got up, he put his cigarette, he saw the Uber came, he went to the other Moabite looking men, and he's like, all right, man.
I gave a big
Big
dap.
boy pounds, and I was like,
Gave some dap.
Oh, just over the
How'd you feeling up comfortable?
this guy's a nigga.
It felt nigga.
Oh,
Then his phone rang.
let me hide my belongings.
Guess what his ringtone was? It was I love it when you call me Big Papa.
Oh, yes, Jake.
Yeah, that's a
Because
Jake.
he
That's a
was back
straight
too
up
far.
nigga, man.
Yeah, it's for a nigga.
Hey,
Chinese looking nigga, man.
that's a nigga, man.
That's just a nigga in a Chinese body.
That's it.
Chinese
That's
car.
how you know the Most High is powerful.
Yeah.
That's it. So we saying all that to say that, man, Jake, if they dominate, they look like that, them Jakes, man. Jake dominate everything.
Hey, well, some Jake dominated a Moabite back then, because he came in.
They dominated that goddamn
Dominated that Moabite. man.
Chinese box.
The Chinese box.
Yeah, a lot of Jakes over there.
Chinese
off of,
ping-pong.
New York Cross, like Jimmy Carter, Satellite.
Yeah, a lot of them Koreans. Yeah, that's Jake. Koreans,
Yeah.
Jake.
Yeah, Rude.
Yep.
Buford Highway, like you said. Yeah, Jake be everywhere, man.
Yep.
And the Most High is starting to reveal it too. You be seeing it in weird like, you know what I'm saying? Like, God damn, it's a nigga. Like last night I had a ride, right? Again, he in carnal. Cause you know, you can't help it. You know, we're subject to vanity, and it's in confusion. We do.
The
So, you know, I went to this
flesh is
restaurant to pick up a couple, and there was a Judite woman, and like she was with a white guy. Man, even Satan.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I said in my mind. Man, that guy got in the car, and he was a nigga. He was drunk, talking about, man, yeah, your daughter.
That's how you know when they be drunk. That's how it was.
He's like, man, let me tell you, man, Atlanta. He was like, listen, man, this is the city for black people, man. He was bigging it up for black people. Because he
in his spirit, he knows he's trying to he's clinging on to that culture.
That's why I was like, that's why I said I realized I was like, damn, you really just because you see a black woman with a so-called white man or Asian man, you can't always be in the spirit of, hey, look at fucking Eve with the so-called white man. The goddamn devil.
Because you gotta understand too, the black woman is an Israelite. She's going to be attracted to an Israelite. Whether it's, you know, they look dark skinned or not, she was attracted because he's probably just another nigga. You know?
Yeah, and when you deal with the Moors in Europe, they was popping all kind of white women.
Yeah.
They was seating the hell out of those white women all throughout Europe.
Yep.
And when the so-called white man got back in power, a lot of so-called white people in the population were so-called blacks.
Yep.
And they just kept mixing like Sicily. Sicilians are known to be Israelites by heavy history. Ireland. And Sicily in particular, because that land got conquered so many different times. That's why something very, very popular in Sicily is Sicilian food. It's kind of like a mixture of all kind of different, it's very, very versatile, the style of food, because so many different countries and people actually dominated that place. Now you got to think, a lot of these Europeans moved to America.
Yeah.
Whether they was in Ireland during the turn of the century and things of that nature. You watch that movie, The Godfather, when the Italians and Robert De Niro, they came to New York.
Yep.
Certain individuals, whether they was Italians or Sicilians, they went to Chicago. They went all throughout the East Coast.
I went to West Virginia, to work those coal mines.
And they looked like the so-called whites, and a lot of them were indentured servants. Hell, a lot of them were actually getting hung by the so-called whites here.
Yeah,
whites wasn't just hanging black people.
A lot of them Irish was getting lynched.
Deuteronomy 28.
A lot of Irish was getting lynched.
Irish was getting lynched.
Not to cut you off, but like what the brother said, like a lot of so-called Sicilians down there in Louisiana were getting hung during the early part of the 1900s.
Yeah.
Who does that happen to, man?
Niggas. Or Israelites. I'd say it happens to Israelites. You got that in Deuteronomy real quick?
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Now some of us, all right, mainly of the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, they were brought over here on cargo slave ships against their will.
Right.
All right, like what's the word I want to say? Because even the Irish, the Italians, the Polish, a lot of those people, they were brought over here. I want to say they were brought over here too against their own will, not against their will, because they had to come over here with no choice.
Well, yeah, I want to say
You
a
know what
lot
I'm saying?
of them.
There was a lot of them impoverished.
Yeah,
Right.
a lot of them was pushed out of their countries because you had in the late 1800s you had the Great Potato Famine in Ireland. So when they came, you had a lot of influx of some immigrants, a lot of the immigrants that was coming in through Ellis Island in New York. A lot of them was Israelites that was experiencing that famine over there, that Great Potato Famine over there, and they was coming over here for a better life. And then when they came over here, all right, they was catching pure hell. They showed you that in the movie Gangs of New York. They showed you a glimpse of that. When they came to New York, you had the Dutch, you had the Irish, you had the Italians, and it was just like a big thing. And I think some of that was based off of, I think the movie was essentially based off of a true story, too.
Another true story, good movie to watch if you can find it. It's Green Dragon.
Inspired by a true story.
Green Dragon, and it dealt with I think the 70s, 80s, when you had those so-called Chinese immigrants coming over here. And them Chinese immigrants, see, when you see like that video in New York when them black women was getting their ass beat by them so-called Chinese women in that nail shop, a lot of people jumped the gun and be like, you see them goddamn Chinese gooks. Them was probably nigga women.
Black women, goddamn.
Probably black women beating on some more
Yeah,
black
some
women.
more black women. Yeah.
That's all it was.
A lot of them do.
A lot of them nail
Jake,
technicians,
Jake.
these nail technicians in these shops and shit, them is niggas, man.
Yep.
You gotta understand, why would you subject yourself to a job where you doing a nigga woman's feet?
That's a nigga job.
That's a nigga job. Ain't no white women signing up. Yeah, my job of choice when I grow up is to be a nail technician.
Right.
So I can do manicures and pedicures all goddamn day, every day. A lot of them are niggas. Okay? You got...
I had some out.
Yeah, bring that up, but go back to Deuteronomy again.
Or it would be like a Moabite family member, but they may be like the niece or nephew of a Jake that got with a Moabite. So the technicians would be, you know, Jake or whatever, but then like the owners would be Moabite, but they still family.
Oh, that's right.
Because,
I lost my train of thought with the movie Green Dragon. And the movie Green Dragon is based off of a story where you had these gangs in New York, these different Chinese and gangs
Yeah, Chinatown.
in Chinatown and stuff. Because what was happening, like you said, you have the Moabites. They'll illegally sneak you into the country at a price, and then when you get over here, they make you work the kitchen.
Yep.
All right, work the back or work in their restaurants,
The
their
laundry.
factories, their laundromats. So they bring you over here, and they put your ass right into slavery.
I got something.
Rush hour, yeah.
This is under white slavery. It says white slavery, white slave trade, and white slave traffic refer to the chattel slavery of white Europeans by non-Europeans such as North Africans and the Muslim world. And really during that time of the Muslim world, that was Jake, through the Moors. But the Moors were Israelites that clave unto Islam. As well as by the Europeans themselves, such as the Viking thralls or European galley slaves. From antiquity, European slaves were common during the reign of ancient Rome and were prominent during the Ottoman Empire. And I want to, it says,
Esau took it over from Jake, which is really, should say the Byzantine Empire. Going back to Jake.
yeah.
Because the Ottoman Empire split off, I think. Or well, it was in the north.
Yeah, because the Ottoman Turks took them down, and it switched from the Byzantine.
Yeah, Esau rolled up in the ranks of the Ottoman Empire. Something like that.
That sly devil.
That
Yeah,
slide.
going back to
Haman.
Bullen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had certain devils when they came out of the caves around like 740 AD. You had some of them that clave unto Judaism, such as King Bullen, or King of Bullen. You had some that clave unto Islam. You know,
It's a political decision.
which is the Ottoman Empire, because the Ottoman Turks were Islamic, or they real high into Islam.
Esau was being squeezed.
Yeah,
It was like
pushed into.
Islam to one side of them and us.
Yep. And Christianity.
Christianity.
And Christianity, that's when you get the
Christianity.
Crusades.
Yep.
Which it was Jake and really them Arabs. We was fighting them Arabs and things of that nature. But that goes into the history of Islam and things of that nature too.
Well, Arab means mixed because you had the
Arab means
Edomites
mixed,
and the Ishmaelites being mixed up in there.
Yeah, a lot of them
Which came
Saudi,
from the Ottoman Empire.
a lot of them Saudi princes and right now them are Edomites, man.
A lot of them are.
Like when you see all that madness going over there in Dubai,
Yep.
fucking
That's a fight
hiring
between Ishmael
hiring women to come over there to take a shit on their chest, man. That's Esau,
Yeah,
man.
man.
That's
Esau,
Esau.
Ishmael.
Esau over there with turbans on and shit.
Yep.
All right, continuing on.
Be tears.
In feudalism, there were various forms of status below the free man that is known as serfdom. Right. So serfs was basically the old term for slaves.
Yeah, because the feudal system goes back to the medieval times, which we started. Where you started with your kings, then your kings, the noble class, the knights, your peasants, and it was a system where the king had a portion of the land, and he gave a portion of that land to the noble class and to the knights. And the knights would
they would have vassals.
Yep.
And then the vassals would be over the different actual citizens in the towns.
Yep.
The townsfolk.
They were like representatives.
Like Townsville.
It says, border, vagabond, vagabond, and slaves, which could be bought and sold as property and were subject to labor and branding by their owners or the mints.
Yeah, that's what the knights would do during that time period, during the feudal system. The knights would they would get their land and they would have people work on the land. Like they would take those servants, those slaves, and have them work the land, and then they would be able to keep the portion they like going into your indentured servants. That's what all of it. That's how Esau set up the whole indentured servant system here. Basically, I'm gonna give you this land, you work it, and you keep a percentage of the crop. So whether cash crop, so whether either A, you eat it or you sell it.
Which, if I can add a good point, during the time King George III was usually as a Jake. When the Pilgrims came over here, they were sending them over here. You know, they're talking about persecuting for religious freedom. No, it was a bunch of degenerates sent over to this side of the world to do work, and they was like indentured servants to the king back in England.
Well, that's in the history of the scriptures with Solomon. When Solomon had basically was dealing with Hiram didn't go to the Americas and do all that.
Yeah, by itself.
But you had all kind of, like I said, gorillas. You had all kind of animals. You could actually
Monkeys.
go to America and get killed, man. Get bit by a snake.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
Because you don't fully have the blueprint of the land. So the first discovery of the land, the top nobility doesn't go and discover the land first. It's the lowest class of people.
Hey, so there's all these movies. Give you an example of that. Was it Avatar? The man that was in charge of the operation, his ass ain't in the fucking in the middle of space on a planet he don't recognize. He sent the crew. He sent the crew.
He sent the cripple.
Right, and what did he do? He watched over a camera and watched it. He made, what's the report? When are we gonna hit our deadline?
Sure, and Elysium too.
Elysium.
Because the girl was putting all kind of pressure on that dude, and he was being the main oppressor on Earth. But it's like he's living in Elysium, so he's low class, man. Same. That's how we know that Christopher Columbus was a bum. Because he had to actually go throughout his route, and he didn't even pay for those ships. He didn't even have enough money to finance the Nina, the pizza, and the Santa Maria.
But you know that's another topic for another time.
We go all
Back down memory lane for a quick 15.
But it says, under Muslim rule, the Arab slave trades that included Caucasian captives.
White people. Slavery is not too far removed from your white ass.
That's right. It's like been what, 500-600 years?
Yeah, you talk shit about us, nigga. You just got out of slavery.
That's why they can't. That's why they oppress Jake. They can't get over it. They remember the Moors back then having their ass with them Arabs. With them Arabs with Jake too.
Hey, imagine like all of us, right?
Beers.
You remember that one good time that your father whooped your ass, right? Like me, I'm 32 years old. I can remember my dad's epic ass whooping like it happened yesterday.
Man, I remember one.
Esau, remember that epic ass whooping we gave him during the time of the Moors? To this very day.
Still getting revenge on him.
Esau is a grudgeful motherfucker. But you know what? That's where, I guess you learn in the spirit. I ain't even mad at Esau.
Yeah, if I was an Edomite, I'd do the same.
If I was an Edomite, I'd be kicking you niggas ass too.
And guess what? We gonna do it again. That's what we waiting for. The best thing is to read the scripture, but
Esau really is in the right spirit. Esau should hate you, hate all our ass. Every time Esau see us come in the grocery store, he should call the police on us.
Yep. He should not let you in your own building, your apartment.
He shouldn't do any of that shit.
You can't come in here.
Right? But that go to show you that you devils, you're losing your power, man.
Yep.
So you cracker women, you used to be able to cry wolf and say a nigga looked at you, and the whole city came together and killed that nigga.
Yep.
Now y'all losing your fucking jobs.
Losing your jobs. Getting
That
fired.
bitch in St. Louis lost her job, and she was off the clock.
Yep. She wasn't even.
She getting looked at like shit.
Yep.
Now she's called the racist.
Oh, what's that chick now? The one that said the little boy touched her.
Oh man, yeah.
Corner Store Caroline.
Yeah.
Corner Store Caroline. She got caught in that lie.
Yeah.
Little white. Because I saw the video and I was like, this ain't nothing but another. I was like, this was damn near Emmett Till.
Yeah,
If this was 50, 60 years ago, that would have been Emmett Till.
His ass would have been dead.
His ass would have been dead.
Hey, but you know what, you niggas, you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you're gonna realize that this devil is not your fucking friend.
That's right.
You're gonna realize it.
That's
All right,
right.
a little bit more.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says, I'll read it. Under Muslim rule, the Arab slave trade that included Caucasian captives were often fueled by raids into European territories, or were taken as children in the form of a blood tax by the family of citizens of conquered territories to serve the empire for a variety of functions.
And that's what they would do in the ancient world. They would, if it was wartime, you would have those people that you have set up, and they would go on into those lands that you conquered. And what would you say? All right, we need a war. We need all your boys.
That's what it did.
Spoils of war.
Right, because you don't just keep the country alive and let them operate freely, because no, you let them, hey, I'm gonna let you get fat, I'm gonna let you pay me your taxes, your tributes to me, but when it's time for war, we're gonna come in and we're gonna take your sons.
Yep.
They do it now. What is the Esau's doing it right now?
I think in that war with cause like in Africa, in the Congo and all that, that's why them Hamites be having them child soldiers.
Yeah.
Because it be one particular ruler over them lands. They'll go into the villages and say, hey, you know, you gotta give me your sons now. And they train them up, and they be sitting there fighting each other and stuff. Them Hamites and them Ishmaelites, they still do that, man.
Well, really,
You know?
and even on top of what you said too, them African slave masters, basically taskmasters, they be having the government on top of them putting pressure on them. Because it's all over because the so-called white man rule that land. So what they doing is breeding them African slaves to actually become super warriors to actually use them in a war.
But I just gonna read the last little point.
Come.
But when you go into the blood taxes, basically I'm actually forcing them, like it says, a little bit. It says, blood tax was chiefly the practice whereby the Ottoman Empire sent military officers to take Christian boys ages 8 to 18 from their families in Eastern and Southeastern Europe in order that they be raised to serve the state. This tax of sons was imposed only on the Christian subjects of the empire.
It's the same thing today.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing today. Here it is. Esau beats your ass. He was beating your mother and your father before you were thought. So you were already in a bad predicament of life. And then you come into the world, and what do most Negroes have choices? What does your mother hit your ass with when you turn 17, 18? Either you gonna get a job, or you go into the military.
Yeah. That's the only option.
That's the only option. Either you gonna go to school, which that's really not a real option for most Jake.
Yeah.
Right, it's either you gonna go get a job, or you gotta get the hell out of my house.
Yep.
And then you see let's see your athlete, and then what's the so-called black woman? The black mother do? The black mother, she'll drive your ass to the recruiter's office. She will pull you by the ear to some recruiter's office, and she'll your mother will forge your name on the fucking paper.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie.
Tell you, you gonna be in the military now.
And my
Your
dad
ass
did
waking
that
up
to me,
that
man.
fucking eye boogers. What?
Hey, Jay.
Put your name in.
Fucking Officer Scott with a gun over you. Come on, report.
I mean, my dad did that to me, man. I graduated. He was like, look, man, you're going to do something, man. He took me to the Army recruiter.
And that's bullshit, man. Let me say something. Because that's Jake for you. Jake don't prepare you. Your father, he don't prepare you for shit for the world. But then when you hit 18, you miraculously supposed to be able to conquer the whole fucking world.
I just graduated. I'm like, I don't know what school I want to go to yet. It's like, it's in the middle of the summer. I probably got out of school maybe 2-3 months ago. Man, look, man. Let me figure it out. God damn. I said, it ain't the end of the world yet. It ain't my last resort. Man, I despise going to the military, man.
Yeah, and the reason why the so-called white man is a great slave master, because he was a great slave. He learned all the battle tactics.
He learned it from
He's seen how to. It's all it is from oppressor to oppressor.
Yep.
He was getting his ass whooped so much during the time of the medieval times that when he took power, all he did was took out the tactics.
Yep.
A lot of times warriors, and you watch that in the movie, or the show Spartacus, with Spartacus, he was a military genius. That's the reason why he actually got so far with actually taking down Rome. But he learned because he was in the Roman military. He understood battle tactics. He started to get high development. He understood blueprints. He understood environment. He was an environmentalist. Yeah. Understood elevation.
Art of war.
He understood all practices dealing with the art of war. So when they actually took Spartacus and made him a slave, because they made him a gladiator,
Yeah.
he was chopping them other gladiators up. But see, every day he kept becoming more and more efficient with the sword. Because when the military men, they had like off season when they would take down, they would go home and pop their women. All he was doing was learning battle tactics, personnel, training, just learning the art of war. So his elevation and his experience as a warrior superseded all of those military men. And what did he do? He took those other men and he groomed them in the art, and that's why they became so strong. Same thing with Alexander the Greek.
Yeah.
Was the scripture train up a child in the way that he shall grow?
Yeah.
For brother to get that? No. Because that's really what it is in the spirit too. The reason why we under this oppressor right now is it's all for training purposes. It's all for the building and the understanding. Understanding we're not to go off. We gain so much experience really through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah falling in this kingdom, man. Why? Because we understand perfection. Hey, the devil was right. He said your eyes shall be open and you shall see both good and evil, and you're gonna be perfect. Really, at that time, they wasn't perfect, but us now, us understanding fully the left-hand side and fully the right-hand side,
Well, they were all
we
righteous.
got, you know, we fully got the full understanding because we see how what not to do, you know?
Yeah, we just on a higher level of perfection.
Higher level of
Because Yahweh Shai,
perfect.
because when Yahweh Shai came, you know, Yahweh Shai he lived it both. He lived a glorious life on the left hand side and on the right hand side. He was Yahweh Shai, and he had his own, you know, evilness or wickedness, I should say, you know, or evil.
Yeah,
You can say evil because he
Well, he
had his
understood
bad times.
He understood madness and folly, like he said
Right.
in the book of Ecclesiastes.
Yep.
And just like Elder Anak said, he said top witches actually called Solomon the Great Witch. Like he's reverenced amongst top witches, like top witches that's really into the craft of you know, like codexes and different forms of magic.
Solomon's seals.
That's what Solomon sealed.
Witches, they
That's why they gave him that seal, because he. You know.
That's why really that seal is not in the spirit, man.
Yeah, it's not in the
It's
spirit.
not in the spirit. Hey, well, you know what? Me and him was talking about this, but really, just because Solomon presented it doesn't mean that it was righteous. He presented something on the left hand side.
Yeah. He was all into that.
Because them seals, you know, it's not just one seal. It's not the typical, like, you know, like
it's more than one,
it's like that's just like the basis of it.
Yeah.
And then there's different seals within that seal. They'll have a dot. They'll have a dot over here, or a few dots over there, or a circle. It's like it's a lot of seals. Like it was like it's a lot of seals, and they would use those seals to summon up different demons. So yeah, I got that for you. Proverbs. This is Proverbs 22:6. And it says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
Yeah, and we getting trained up from a child in the ways of Yahweh Shema Shah. But see, we had to go through the schoolmaster really of this world to see how not to be. Because at the end of the day, to be honest, if we, like in the ancient world, if we grew up truly knowing this truth and not, you know, seeing the wickedness and things of that nature, a lot of us would be seduced and want to see actually what's out there. Because our people are naturally curious. That's how we fell to the other gods. Because we was, at that time, we was totally righteous. But we seen how the other nations were living with clubs and tattoos and an ideological lifestyle.
Like, that looks fun.
And that's how we were. That's exactly how we was. So we
Well,
whoring.
And,
Yeah,
well,
we went on
and
whoring.
well, when you go into Revelation, it said that John the Revelator marveled at the whore. You know? It said he marveled at the whore, but he had to snap back. He had to get right.
Snap back.
Because he saw the future. He saw America and
Saw
the
the bright
light and
lights,
technology and the
roller coasters and shit.
Yeah, you know, he's seen all that, you know.
Fat ass.
You know.
Fat asses.
Big old asses.
So he marveled,
tatted up
you know.
bitches.
Saw how America was strong militarily.
Yeah.
You know. He
Like,
saw
what
all
the
of that.
fuck?
Because he had to write it down. He said he marveled. He was like, oh god damn.
The fuck?
You know.
That's the truth, though. You know.
And just like the brother, well, you go ahead. Go ahead with that.
Oh, I got another one. You don't mind?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, this is Galatians 4:1, and it says, "Now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, differeth nothing from a servant, though he be Lord of all."
And we're heirs. If we are the 144,000, which we believe through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, if we continue to the end, we will be of that number. But we start off as heirs, and the kingdom starts right now. We're actually fighting for the kingdom right now.
Yep.
This is part of the battle. The battle doesn't start at the end. It starts right now. When you first open this word and you come into the truth of Yahweh Shema Shah. And when the kingdom is set, that's the accomplishment. Right now, this is the war, man.
The spiritual warfare we're in.
And the thing about this warfare, you're gonna sometimes lose. Demons gonna come against you. You're gonna fall short. But it's all about getting back up and getting better in this thing, man. And just like the brother was saying, I wanted to bring out that point, the horn, how we went a horn in the spirit. The reason why we strong, like Apostle Hall was going to, our more powerful in the spirit than the prophets, we have more knowledge, I'll say. We have more knowledge than the prophets because we experience the going a horn aspect of this truth. We grew up really as whores. Going to Amos, was that Amos, Lower Me? when the Most High actually told Amos to actually marry that harlot, that represented us.
Hosea.
Hosea, the first chapter. The Most High had Hosea marry that harlot because that represented us.
Yeah.
And he said that you would have multiple children. One of them was Lo and me, saying that ye are not my people. Somebody get that real fast, Hosea, the first chapter, and then we'll go back to that. Because that all represents what we were to go through as a nation. I'm going to throw it back to you.
Oh, you good, bro?
That all represents what we was going to go through as a nation to actually show where we would be at right now, man.
Yeah, because if I could add, going off in the ancient world is completely different than going off now. Like, you got to think, to go off in the ancient world, you really had to kind of go out your way to go off. You know, it wasn't like right now, you could go off, you could go slap the fuck off in a way that's beyond of the ancient world and not leave the comfort of your bed. You could literally be in the bed and just be going slap the fuck off. Just laying down.
Just laying down.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, but that's this place. This world that we live in now is wickedness. We're breathing wicked air right now.
Right.
And resisting, that shows you the power, and like it tells you in John, little ones you have overcame the wicked one. Because resisting in this kingdom is way harder too than the ancient world. Like back then, you could just grow up righteous. It wasn't nothing to grow up right. All you see is righteous.
Beautiful. Like the young man that went to Yahushua. Yeah, he said, "What commandments must I keep?"
Yes, because he kept him from his youth up.
I kept him from my youth up, and the Lord and Yahushua said, honor your mother. His name, son. And he's like, well, I already do that.
Yeah, he was like, what else I need to do?
What else I need to do? And then when he told him to sell his goods, that's when he got tripped up. Because it was easy. It's not hard. It was not hard. Everybody, imagine right now, if all Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans didn't eat pork, didn't do these things. If everybody wasn't doing it, and you saw one nigga on the sideline chomping down a pork chop sandwich, all eyes is gonna be on him. Like,
that's what
you see this shit over here.
And on top of that, when you got laws to kill that individual,
right?
If it's multiple individuals that's caught in the act, they're gonna hang their asses on the gallows and make them a public image, man.
That's why.
So fear is still being pushed out. But that's how we know we're going through a very hard trial through the spirit of Yahweh Shemawashah, because all of us really do have a form of leisure. You got leisure to commit adultery. Of course, in this world, according to this world standards, you don't get locked up for these things. You can do all manner of wickedness, and it's still advocated. But that's how you know the Most High through the spirit is separating the men from the boys, or the elect from the 2/3, are really the actions that you actually partake in on this side. What's your will? Do you have the desire to resist? Do you have the discipline? Without actually a priest or elders actually being in your city. Yeah. That's why Paul spoke about that, the absence and the presence. And it's for each and every one of us, because we could all be out here preaching the word, and in your barracks in the background, you can do all kind of wickedness and not get caught.
You know how hard it is to resist eating pork?
That's why the scriptures, like we go back into history, it talks about they used to worship the God secretly. Because openly, man, you couldn't sit here and worship no idol of Marduk.
And then argue you. You think you could be in the ancient world? You think you could be in the ancient world and a nigga argue with you about Buddha?
Right.
Or you gonna come to me and tell me how
you don't believe
Horus and these gods of Kemet, that's the way.
Right.
The scriptures tell you, I forget what chapter that is in Exodus or Deuteronomy, that if a brother of yours, I think if it says of a brother, a sister, a wife, a friend, or whoever, but I don't think it says your father. I don't think it says your father or your mother, because you can't smite your mother.
Right.
But it names everybody else outside of your mother and father, that if they entice you to follow another god, that you're supposed to bring it to the chiefs of the city, and you be the first one to cast a stone. That's why it doesn't say your mother and father, because the scripture says it's against the law to smite your mother and father. But anybody else outside of that, if they come to you and they say,
so they entice you to follow other gods.
You make money from that god.
Oh, you got that law?
This is Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 6. If thy brother, the son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is as thine own soul, entice thee secretly.
Seduce. And that's what all that happens here. Every nigga you meet, he got a way.
He got a path.
He got a plot. The way to conquering the world.
Yep.
The way to being more spiritually in line.
Then you.
Raising your chakras.
Yep.
All that bullshit. Every
Raising
nigga
your
you
chakra,
meet
yep.
out here outside of this fold,
It's
they got
woke.
some fucking philosophy.
Everybody's
And
woke.
you know what? To be honest, some of that shit be working for a lot of them niggas. Like this one individual, that wicked ass nigga we was talking about, duct tape. That duct tape
Oh
nigga.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Big Bang.
Yeah, Big Bang.
The big
But
bang.
this nigga, you know, for the sake of the viewers, this nigga was basically sacrificing it. I forget some type
Some
of
witchcraft.
There was
Some
some witchcraft
witchcraft.
with that, but that should be working for a lot of individuals. So us in the Holy Land, we was going being seduced, and we would go to the land of Elam. We would be in those certain lands, read certain books, and then we would get certain insight on certain magic that would actually give you so-called supernatural powers. And to a certain degree, a lot of it worked. Yep. But that's why the Lord said, there shall be no witches that shall basically live in the land.
You understand? And then too, even back
Some
then,
witches live. That's excellent.
even back then with like how the angels and the demons dealt with people, they dealt with them a lot more closely back then, you know, and more intimately than they do now. Like angels aren't just walking up to your door and saying, I have a message from, you know, the Heavenly Father, you know. Just like now, demons ain't just manifesting in the middle of your living room floor because you use a goddamn, you know, what's that board, a Ouija board? Nah, you know what I'm saying? But
Get Micah.
but at the same time,
Micah.
you have to do certain things in order to invoke those types of spirits. Just like us teaching this word, okay? We are getting intimate with our power, crying out to Yahweh Bash and Yahweh Shai. But just like the Edomites that passed earlier, they're all dark and gloomy, whatever spirit they into, okay? I'm pretty sure demons, you know, tell them things and get them involved with whatever the hell they involved with.
Give them dreams, put them on the
dreams and
tantrum.
you know,
What is that? Tantrum? What is that state of
esoteric, wicked esoteric
a trance.
Yeah, trance.
Trance.
No, it's still some more on that.
Yeah, you go back. Matter of fact, just go back to the law. But like we were saying, it doesn't say your mother and father because, you know, the scriptures tell you to honor your mother and your father, and to curse and not to smite your mother and your father. But everybody else outside of that, you know.
So there's no contradiction.
It's no contradiction, right? So therefore, but if somebody comes to you and entices you, you're supposed to put them to death.
The priest can do it.
Right.
If I may say,
You got it, bro.
that this law is actually cutting down any type of Edomite activity or that Edomite spirit. Because even when you go back to the garden, that Edomite spirit enticed that serpent enticed Eve to do what she did, and in turn she, you know, went to Adam and all this happened.
And these Edomites are enticing, man.
Yeah, that's right.
With your Scientology, your
Yeah.
Christianity.
Advertisements.
That's why the chip is going to be so pivotal in the time of tribulation, because it's going to be made so like accessible and so like, damn, they can do all this.
Yep.
They're going to entice you to take it.
Hey, well, like, you know, I told the brother Kasat on the ride down here, I said, hey, really could hey, you know, not to put no, hey, I put this with a disclaimer, right? We here at Great Millstone, we teach that the mark of the beast is the RFID chip, and we also teach according to the law not to take it.
That's right.
Now, with that disclaimer put out there, the chip makes all the sense in the world to take.
Oh, it does.
When they present it,
It will be.
it's gonna be like, God damn it, people gonna literally look, hey, they're gonna entice you.
That's why
'Cause
it's
they gonna
called a
look at you.
trial.
Yeah, they're gonna look at you like,
You ain't got
what's
the
wrong
chip.
with you? Why don't you wanna take the chip?
Right.
You ain't got the chip.
You ain't got the
You
chip.
don't like carrying them. So you like carrying money?
Yeah,
You like carrying a
You like
license?
cash?
And a debit card?
Your whole wallet gonna be oblivious.
Yeah, and wallet's gonna disappear. Phone's gonna
Phones
disappear.
too.
You know, car keys. You know how many people lose their car keys and house keys?
Yeah.
There ain't gonna be no more of that. Your key is gonna be connected to you.
Internet and things.
You know, your apartment complexes. You know, a lot of you jakes, you live in these complexes with gates. And what you gotta do when you pull up to the gate? You gotta pull out the little card they give you or whatever, little thing, and you gotta scan it. You ain't gotta do that no more. Stick your hand out and open up that gate.
Well, it's gonna be more advanced than that, to the point where your Wi-Fi signals, the signals is gonna actually automatically open it without even the whole scanner process. That's
Oh yeah, you're right.
Well,
Especially if you have the Neuralink brain chip, Okay, and that Neuralink, nah, because that's what they want to do. Like that Neuralink is just gonna connect you, because you can have 3 or 4 implants in your hand, but that Neuralink, your brain, its magnetic field is a lot wider than just your limbs or your body.
That's right, because they show you how basically you
They
be
show
able to, it'll change. Because Bill Gates' house is like that right now. He has his house. He has
the top
zones in his
smart-
house where basically
smart house.
if you wear, they was going into it where in his household in Washington,
Yeah,
how
he
all
was
of his family members they
Washington
wear
State.
Washington State.
Washington State, yeah.
They wear these wristbands, so that when you personally, like if this man walks in there with that. He walks into the room, the room will automatically change the temperature to how you like it. Or how it'll regulate how you like it. Or you like your lights a certain way, it'll change the lights to how you like it. So when you walk out and I walk in, it'll adjust to me. So it's like that chip, man.
That's some witchcraft.
That's another level of witchcraft.
That's one of the, because it's going to be the cornerstone of Esau's New World Order. Because really with the New World Order, and I'm going to throw it back to the brother, New World Order, the chip is just going to be the beginning. That's going to be the stage set. That's going to be like the key to a whole nother, I'll say paradigm or dimension.
Yeah, shopping is going to be totally different.
You watch that on these different movies, like shows like Black Mirror. It'll show you how the whole setup. Like now, China is going through their whole. They're having a social credit system, and they're really the mark of the beast is going to hit China first.
Oh yeah.
You can see it.
Yeah.
Because it's coming to the point where you can't even leave the country. You can't even go into certain stores. If your credits is low, your ass ain't even gonna have access to certain things.
Yeah,
But if your credits is high, they'll give you certain benefits, certain points.
Yeah, like that episode on Black Mirror, Nosedive.
Yeah.
Now you had the woman that was driving that little truck.
Social rating system.
And her ratings was in the shit can, man. Because basically she had her only job was she was a truck driver.
Yeah.
You couldn't even get a certain. Remember that Jackie, his ratings got low. He couldn't even go to work no more.
Yep.
You remember he couldn't even get in his apartment because he was fucking.
Your mama is like, man, you can't pay for this shit, boy. All this stuff is ours.
The restaurant wouldn't let him in. And then you just hit that button if somebody does something against you. Because all this Facebook, all these shit is going to be done away with. Really, Facebook is going to be more worldwide. It's going to be more, because really everything is becoming computerized for you to be desensitized to really be in front of you, man. That, like we said, the Internet of Things, if Facebook and all these things is old, how they going to upgrade?
What's next?
What's next? Who goes on MySpace anymore? Nah, Facebook,
Instagram. That shit gonna get old.
Yeah.
Yeah, Facebook is played out. I only be on Facebook right now to get recipes.
Yeah, I mean,
That's the only reason I go. I just watch little videos. Everything I follow on Facebook is little. I ain't even articles. It literally just recipes. That's the only reason I'm on there. I ain't on there for no bitches and all that shit. I'm on there to get pastry destiny.
I mean, it depends on what you use it. Hey, YouTube is a social media site.
It really is. You can share.
You can share, notification messages. It's just about what you use these things for.
That's it. Now go back to that law. We're gonna read that. Build on that.
I got the word entice in the Hebrew. It's sawath, and it means to entice, allure, instigate. So that word allure is like fishing.
Like luring somebody.
When you cast your line out.
Well, that's what women do. They allure you.
Some perfumes are called. There's a perfume called allure.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying with females and stuff, that's a
smell.
trait. Women have an alluring trait. Yeah. Ooh, turn to a finger and
get great. I goddamn that smell, that fragrance from that woman. That goddamn fragrance wrap your ass in the neck and yank your ass. You going? You gonna get some.
The Strong's definition says soothe. It says to prick.
Soothsayers. That's witchcraft.
It says
like something that's soothing.
Matter of fact, when you get in Isaiah 30.
Yeah, because
Tyson, itching ears.
And just like the brother said, soothsayers, because really the chip is the highest form of witchcraft. It's because really it's dealing with what technology and the technological realm is really built up by witches. These individuals that actually created this technology, the cell phones, and these TVs that we actually use, they're top level witches. That's why it's known as what, the internet. It's to put you in a net. A lot of these different www means 666. A A lot of these different things, even when you go into all these apps, they always got some type of satanic symbol. Whether it's the apple in Genesis, you know, it ain't a literal apple, but they always got the apple, which is, these phones are known as the apples. Apples, yep. Or Android, the Android symbol is a demon. So these are high-level witches that's actually creating this technology. And the individual that actually made the RFID chip, he said through the spirit that, or he was a co-creator, he basically said through the spirit that that's the mark of the beast in our Revelation.
Yeah. The Apple that was set up by, who is that? Steve Jobs?
Steve Jobs and one other person.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they actually had the one that designed the symbol. I'm not sure if he was a woman.
I think it was on.
I think it was somebody out there. Cause,
But it went back to the whole point of them putting the apple, it goes back to Genesis.
Genesis, Garden of Eden.
That's why it's bitten.
It's why it's bitten, because they believe that when the apple was bitten, which of course we know the scriptures don't say that, but how it's sold in the world as an apple, okay? So they're showing you that they know about the fact that when the apple was bit, or that fruit, they went into that different philosophy. And that's what opened his the enlighten them. What's his name?
Janoff, he's known for his creation of the Apple logo in 1977.
Matter of fact, Google how much the first Apple computer was.
Yeah.
The Macintosh.
And those logos are high-level witchcraft, man. They're known to attract. That's how you know, like back in the ancient world, the top soothsayers, they were really, like, you know, they had a daily prognosticator that was over the weather. They was over certain things to keep the people drugged up and high. That's the purpose of the soothsayers in the kingdom. That was the purpose of witches in the kingdom, to keep people high and keep people drugged up off of whether formulas or certain entertainment, like bread and circus. The individual that created and crafted the bread and circus theme, or the ideology of that, those were witches, man.
Yeah.
So in today's time, the new witches, even though they're over the entertainment and things of that nature, the highest form of witchcraft is really this technology, man.
Yeah.
That's why the chip is going to be such a pivotal piece.
Yep.
And that's how we know that it's prophecy, because even back then you had witches, you had sports, you had all this wickedness even during the time of Roman Greece. All this sports and all this shit, it really comes from Roman Greece.
Yeah.
So what's going to be the most impactful thing that John the Revelator seen on the island of Patmos most? It was something that came through the technological realm, which is the chip, man.
That's why he spoke about it in Revelation 13. Was it Revelation 16, 14?
Yeah.
Those that didn't take the mark or worship or bow to the image of the beast. It's spoken all throughout the book of Revelation.
Yeah, I got the Hebrew word for soothsayer, which is quasam in the Hebrew, and it means to practice divination, to practice divination, revokers of the dead.
Hey, well, you know what? We went into that earlier as a side point, going into Esau's media. All right, because the media does what? They use a medium, which is your TV, your computer, your phone, whatever way they can to do what? To push out those demons.
Yep.
Yeah, now it's, and it said, can you read that one part over? And I know you want to say something.
You got it, bro.
Read that one part over. The diviner.
To practice divination, divine.
Meaning you get certain things from on high. And really the highest form that these devils is getting certain things through the frequency. That's why you have satellites. These satellites is elevated to the heavens, and the frequencies are bouncing from one point to another, to the next, and it's all located on your phone. Continue on.
That was it.
Ephesians chapter 6 too. I can pull that scripture.
Read that.
Provokers of the dead.
Yeah, provokers of the dead. Because really through this technology, it's memorizing you, it's learning you. That's why it's known as smartphone, smart technology. So even when you die, Esau is looking to actually take the access from all your bookmarks, all your files, and keep you inside of this system. So even if you die, people will actually pay to actually get access to you. That's going to be another benefit.
Intellectual property.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what that shows?
That with Tupac.
That movie. It's like a game. It's Steven Spielberg movie. It's that gaming movie.
Oh, we're talking about the one that came out earlier this year.
Yeah, it's called
let me see. It was called what was that movie called?
What, Ready Player One?
Ready Player One.
Ready Player One. Yeah.
Because the guy who made that whole little algorithm, the whole world, he was dead.
He was dead.
but they had to go back to his memories to unlock everything and to win those keys. So they can win the whole thing. But they had to go back to a dead man.
So what they use the technology?
They used the dead man's his files that were kept after he passed away.
I was gonna say where they showed that on
His whole life.
on Black Mirror.
They show you on Black Mirror.
On Black Mirror, where they remember the episode the Black Museum.
Yeah.
The episode with the girl from Black Panther.
Yeah.
And I remember that he was in the museum and
That's
he had
the last episode.
remember the woman had died in a car accident. She had a baby, and they basically extracted her spirit from her body.
Yeah.
And remember they put it in the guy.
Hell yeah.
They took it and put it in the guy,
Oh man.
and then he got tired of her.
Yeah.
And then he removed her out
In
of
a teddy bear.
Yeah, he put it in
out
a
of
teddy
him,
bear.
and he put her in a teddy bear.
Yeah.
But her body, she was already dead. So they had a digital copy of her spirit, so to speak. Yeah. Come, we're wrapping up. And they kept her alive. So it was a piece of her. That's why what did they do? What was the big thing the other day? We had this rapper that died recently, XXX Tentacion.
Oh yeah, he had a hologram on
They had a hologram of him at the BET Awards. So his ass is dead. He probably not really making no money for his family.
He gave a little speech.
But Esau is still making money off of his ass right now.
Damn, that's
Yeah, Tupac.
That's the
Biggie that he wants to
Didn't the witch in Endor have that same technology? When she summoned Saul? Excuse me, summoned Samuel.
Yeah.
So that same technology, that's how we know that this modern technology is the ancient world witchcraft.
Well, even when you read the definition of soothsayer, even when he
It's a Urim and Thummim.
even when you read the definition of soothsayer, it said in there a provoker of the dead.
Yeah, evoker.
Summon. To evoke it.
So even the soothing, because even when you go into the word entice, it had soothe there, and it had the word provoke. So entice and soothsayer is synonymous of one and the same to each other.
See? Esau, man. Esau, this is the highest level of witchcraft that we do.
Well, shoot, man. Hey, we're dealing with high tech.
We'll close up on that actually.
High tech spirits right now on the left and right hand side.
Yeah, Esau is a big warlock, man.
Yeah.
Like in the movie 13 Ghosts.
Yeah, 13, yeah.
You know, you had the Edomite, and he
Was in that abandoned prison?
He had the ghost trapped them in them cells, and he had the little symbols on it, and he was trying to open.
They couldn't pass the.
He couldn't pass. Remember that? He had the whole like the little gears, seals that was turning and all that, man. And Esau present that shit to you, and you think like, oh, whatever, that's just entertainment. Nah, these guys
That shit, how they work.
they
Like I
really
said,
doing that shit, man.
to invoke the demons now is not as intimate as it was back then. The higher level up witches can do it. You know, even certain men that we perceive to be angels come by the camp. But it's not as on the level of it was like it was in the ancient world. You have to do more.
Well, that's why when you watch these different shows like or certain movies like Doctor Strange or other witch movies, you always have to have an amulet. You have to have some form of
it's called a talisman.
Some feasible device to actually summon.
Yeah.
And that's why the technology. This is the weapon that Esau uses to actually summon. That's the gift that the Most High gave him.
Yeah, the remote. The modern day, your remote in your house is the modern day wand.
Urim and Thummim.
The Urim and Thummim.
Yeah,
you got it, brother.
But I can say too with that Direct TV Plus, they have a remote. Like once I was all the way downstairs, I made a mistake and hit the button and it changed the channel all the way upstairs. I didn't even have to aim it at the box.
Shit, this new cable and shit is so powerful, man. I be using that wand, man.
Well, that's why he got Alexa and shit.
I be talking to it.
Hello, Google.
I'm like, Netflix,
YouTube Siri.
You know, it's the truth. That one is technologically advanced as hell now.
You know how we know we're at the end? Because a common nigga got access to that technology. What about
Right.
the
That's what I said.
these multi-millionaires?
Everything we got are hand-me-downs.
These is hand me
Yeah,
down.
this stuff they was using 30, 40
Like,
years
what the
ago.
fuck is they using?
Right.
They use it.
They're dealing with the spirit.
Shit.
They
Like
probably
I
got
said,
a flying car and shit.
They building that CERN. They still dealing with that CERN.
CERN.
They're trying to go into
CERN.
the heaven and fight the Most High.
CERN,
trying to go to the
the
spirit
Moabites, they got a machine where they what was it? Temperature. They got a machine where they created the temperatures likened unto the sun. They got crazy technology because like you said at CERN, where they
Trying to generate
generate energy to open up a portal.
Speaking of China, they want to launch a damn moon.
Oh yeah.
They want to
yeah,
launch
yeah.
a new moon into the damn sky. They want to create a moon and launch that shit into the sky. The Chinese want to do that shit.
Hey, that's
This is Micah 5. This is Micah 5 and 12. And I will cut off witchcrafts out of thine hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers.
Yeah, the more like the brother's going into it ain't as easy as it once was. When you read the account of Albert Pike, and you read his story, he had a bracelet that basically he could summon Satan. Literally, and I believe that shit.
Yeah, Aleister Crowley had his own personal demon.
Yeah.
He had his own demon.
That
He
was
was
like
such a
a-
demon. He had his own rival.
Because
Had a name
they
and
call him
everything.
they call Aleister Crowley the most wicked man to ever live. The beast.
His mama called him the beast on Revelation.
His mom called him the Beast.
God damn.
That was his nickname was the Beast.
He was wicked, man.
Yep.
But, yeah, he was wicked.
He was the
man.
creator of sexual magic.
The 11
What was it?
degrees, the 11 degrees of the order temple. I forget it's OTO, and there's like degrees to it. Of office, like basically one of the highest, literally like the levels of witchcraft, where like
Child sex and all that.
the sexual act between a man and a boy
The boy is
is
the
one of the
most-
highest levels.
Yep. Anal sex is the
Anal
most-
sex,
yeah.
having sex with your woman when she's on a period.
Yep.
All that shit is
He
witchcraft.
said he accomplished all that.
Yep.
I was listening
God
to one thing, but you can listen to some of his audios. He's a nasty, foul bastard. You can only listen to so much. Bro.
Yeah,
Like, man,
yeah.
goddamn, you turn my stomach.
Some shit.
Hey, he's
All the
literally.
wickedness that man could ever believe, and he got pissed on and
Yeah.
drunk the feces and excrement. I'm like, what the fuck?
And that's the what's that chick named Maria Jabronovich.
That spirit
Yeah,
cooker.
got a spirit cooking meat, man. She just probably his daughter.
Jay-Z was.
You say he had 11 degrees of that?
You know what?
It's the old. If you look up OTO, the degrees, it'll bring it out for you.
Because that's, I think in the scriptures, the number 11 is all negative. It means disorder,
Cause it's like absent of something.
degenerate.
See, he knew that shit. That's
what
why he
number
picked that
11
up.
Hell yeah.
That's what number 11 signifies.
Yeah. Finish read that scripture again.
This is Micah chapter 5, verse 12. And I will cut off witchcrafts out of thine hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers.
Yeah, it's a wrap on that, man. The only power that's being left and established in the earth is the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai through his men in righteousness.
That's right.
All that other shit is getting cut off, man. All right? Because the Lord said in that day only he shall be
All right,
glorified.
his name should be exalted.
It ain't going to be no, Satan is not going to be glorified.
Nope.
All right? Krishna, Buddha,
Jesus.
Mary,
no Jesus.
Jehovah, whatever
Jehovah,
demon,
right.
demons, little, immature, regular just demon names.
Right.
Baal, Ishtar,
yeah.
Astra. Ain't none of that shit getting any glory. All right, you could be
You speaking, you can put the death in the kingdom.
that's it. You could be fully into the worship of Satan. But in that day, you're gonna know how about Shem Yahweh Shai, all right? So with that, we're gonna close it up. We're gonna give all the glory and honor to Yahweh.
Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba Hashem, Rakak Radash.
All right? And until next time, Shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah, that witchcraft is